So next we have the goal of developing the domestic IT industry. Wherever possible, all of these, the majority of these e-governance projects, the government encourages that domestic IT companies participate in these projects. We want them to develop the expertise, and so that then they next have the capability and the track record to go bid on contracts in foreign countries. The government has created an enabling environment, and some of these initiatives that we have taken to help the computer industry, the domestic industry, were actually taken by our government during its previous term. For example, we eliminated all import duties on computer hardware and software. Prior to that, you had 150% import duty, which made computers prohibitively expensive. As soon as we eliminated the import taxes, the growth of the number of computers being imported into the country skyrocketed. And another example would be our entire international connectivity presently goes through the submarine cable network that we have. It is one submarine cable. What most people are not aware of is that this cable project was initiated by the Awami League government during its previous term. It was eventually completed during the subsequent government, but it was initiated, the project was created, project was set up. Prior to that, Bangladesh had no plans to connect to the international, to the internet. And last but certainly not the least, one of the big initiatives that our government is taking is to create several, not just one, several IT parks. Of course, the biggest is going to be in Kalyakor, where we have 300 acres of land set aside, but we have other spots targeted within Dhaka, in and around Dhaka city, for IT hubs, IT parks as incubators for both the domestic IT industry as well as for foreign companies that want to come in and find and be able to set up shop in one location with all the facilities available in one place. The ultimate goal of all of this is to make Bangladesh into into an IT outsourcing hub. We have a vast young population that is becoming well educated. Our country has several advantages that many of our competitors do not have. We have the same advantages that India had, and as you all know, India is now the leader in IT outsourcing in the world. Every year India exports $50 billion worth of IT products and services. The advantages, the primary advantage we have is a much more educated workforce, a young workforce, but most importantly, English is widely spoken in Bangladesh, and the spoken English accent in Bangladesh is very neutral. So for example, for a call center, to train a call center employee in the Philippines or Vietnam takes up to 4 months, mainly to retrain their English accent. In Bangladesh, this can be done in 2 weeks. So this is a tremendous advantage that we have. The hope is that hopefully by the end, definitely by 2021, hopefully sooner, IT outsourcing will surpass our garments industry as our biggest export earner. The potential for earning is many times that of any other industry, simply because this is a much higher end industry. To that end, of course, the government has also been participating in we've been marketing the country internationally. The government has sent teams to market Bangladesh in IT expos in the primary markets, the US, Europe, etc. But now finally, this being our focus today being on telecommunications, I would like to come back to what we are doing to build the basic backbone of our IT industry, which is the infrastructure. We have modified our telecom policies, and we continue to. These are all fluid documents. We continue to modify them, as you will see shortly. Our goal is to provide both wired, optical, as well as wireless connectivity, but our goal is not just to connect the major hubs. Our goal is to connect the entire country. And this is something we can do very quickly. Ours is a very small country physically. To that end, the policy frameworks were revised beginning last year. As soon as our government is formed, we began to look at our telecommunications policies and revise them. We have created several guiding principles as to what our goals are. Our goals are to provide connectivity throughout the country down to the village level. To provide connectivity, right now we have mobile coverage covering 98% of our population and 90% of our landmass. Our goal is to provide that connectivity in terms of the data network as well. We have plans to provide to build fiber optic cables down to every single union and post office in the country. And we have several initiatives to expedite digital Bangladesh using the telecom sector. To that end, we have taken the National Telecommunications Policy of 1998, which was revised during our government's previous term. We have taken the Bangladesh Telecommunications Act of 2001, that is being revised. The International Long Distance Telecommunications Service Policy of 2007 was revised and adopted as the International Long Distance Telecommunications Services Policy of 2001. This policy has been adopted by the Cabinet and it is awaiting vetting by the Law Ministry. Hopefully they will finalize it any day now. We have a National Broadband Policy of 2009 that was created, National Information and Communications Policy of 2009, the Right to Information Act of 2009, because that is a critical aspect of digital Bangladesh, transparency. And of course the Bangladesh Telecommunications Regulatory Act of 2009 that is still being finalized. What are the guiding principles of our telecommunications policies? First, the introduction of new technologies. We want to innovate. We want to keep innovating. We want to keep adopting new technologies to improve the connectivity, increase capacity, and bring down cost. We want to connect people in the most remote parts of Bangladesh. We want universal coverage. We do not want a digital divide to develop. And we want to keep the price low. Right now, in terms of the mobile market, Bangladesh is one of the cheapest in the world. However, in terms of data bandwidth, Bangladesh is one of the most expensive in the world. With regards to telecommunication services, these are just some of the examples of the telecommunications licenses that we presently have and have issued. 6 mobile operators, 13 PSTN operators, several gateways, VSAT. We have 2 NTTN operators, which are private fiber optic network builders. We have 2 of them presently in the country. One license was, both of these licenses were issued in the last 2 years. One was issued very recently. And at present, one of the things that we're doing is assessing the status of the network in the country at present. So to that end, we have created a new committee. It is called the National Network Development Committee. What we have done, the goal of this committee is that what we have seen is that there exist many networks in the country, but they're all disjointed. They overlap in a majority of areas, and so rural areas are still being left out, and everyone is building separate networks connecting the major hubs. So the goal here, and what we found is that all 59 districts have fiber optic links. 296 upazilas have fiber optic links. But in many cases, much of this fiber optic cable is lying completely unused, or those who need to use it don't have access to it. So this committee's job is to unify this. We are going to take all the cable that is owned by all government, state-owned enterprises. The Power Grid Corporation has a lot of fiber, the railway network has fiber, Bangladesh Telecom has its own fiber, and we are going to integrate all of this. We are going to provide it to the citizens as well as to private enterprise so that they can use this bandwidth to connect our people. And the goal is that will bring down the cost. Here we have some of the projects that have been undertaken. Of course, the Telecommunication Network Development Project that I mentioned. Another